Hey, I'm Lou, and you're watching Live Free and DIY. In my last project video, I showed you how I made this YouTube play button, which is kind of a replica of the play button that you get when you reach 100,000 subscribers, or 1,000,000 subscribers, or 10 million subscribers. But of course, this one is made by me, and it's made out of wood. And it's my way of celebrating 100 subscribers. And so I want to take a moment during this vlog just to give you all a shout out and thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. You guys are totally awesome, and it's been a huge blessing just to be a part of this community and getting to know some of you. So thanks again, and I think you guys are totally awesome. So a little bit about this actual project. To match the YouTube red color, I actually went to YouTube's website and got the hexadecimal color code, which is used on the web, but there's no real good way to translate a hexadecimal or an RGB color from web/print to Lowe's or Ace Hardware's color match system. I did find a couple websites that gave you close matches, and this one was really close when I compared both the YouTube red to this was Valspar porcelain red, and so I just went with that, and I think it actually came out really good. When you paint it on, it's actually pink, but it dries a lot darker, and it's a really good match as far as I'm concerned. I was pretty happy with that. I am sorry that I didn't get the recording of me cutting out the actual play symbol. I was really disappointed when I got the video files on my computer and it wasn't there, because I spent so much time setting up that shot so that it would look good and you guys could see how I was doing it, and then it just wasn't there. What I originally had for this play button was way too thick, and I actually have the rest of that, which is enough to make another play button. So it needs to be sanded down a little bit and obviously shaped, but I might actually set up a little jig to hold this in place and cut out the play button again and maybe send it to somebody who wants one. I don't know, but just for fun. But you know, obviously it's already the shape and it just needs to be shaped out and the little play button cut out. Other than that, this project was really simple to do and really fun to do. I don't know if you subscribe to him or follow him on YouTube, but I subscribe to the Wranglerstar channel. He puts out a lot of interesting content. Most of it's geared towards homesteading, but he recently took a trip to Holland and visited a wind-powered sawmill, and there's a whole video about that. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. It is really cool. They basically have all these giant saw blades that go up and down with the wind, and the faster the wind's blowing, the faster they go. And the system that they use, like, it feeds the logs through, and then these saw blades are moving up and down, and it's cutting several boards at once. It's really interesting. It was a really cool video. So again, I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. Go check it out. I really enjoyed it. I meant to mention this a couple weeks ago. Have you guys heard of the service VidAngel? The interesting thing about it is it's a way for you to rent new releases and stream them over the internet. Now, they don't call it renting because what you're actually doing is buying the movie and then you return it for a credit. And so they require you to use a filter to watch the movies. It's a way for people to cut out swearing or sex scenes in a film that they want to see that they don't want to see that stuff in. But they have filters on there that basically mean that you're not filtering anything important. In fact, they even have a filter for Jar Jar Binks. So if you turn on the Jar Jar Binks filter and buy a movie and there's no Jar Jar Binks in the movie, you see the movie as if it weren't filtered at all. And by the way, the actual streaming service was really good. I didn't notice any artifacts or whatever. We rented the HD version, which was $2, and then the SD version they offer for $1. Anyways, enough about VidAngel. Just go check them out. I thought it was cool. Oh yeah, I went to Harbor Freight Saturday because they were having the Mother's Day sale and a 25% off coupon, and they had their 14-inch by 40-inch lathe, which they're discontinuing, on the floor with tickets that said it was $148, and I was like, oh, this is going to be totally awesome. So I grabbed a ticket, went up front, and they said they had one in stock. They went on back and they couldn't find it. So that disappointed me because it was like a 50-minute trip to get up to Harbor Freight. So I get back into my car and I try to crank it, and it doesn't crank at all. And I was like, oh man, what the heck. As it turns out, there was just too much corrosion on the positive terminal of my battery. So I banged on it a couple times, started it up, and it was running. So I ran over to the local Krispy Kreme there, obviously, to get a dozen Krispy Kremes. Plus I had the kids in my van. And it died in the middle of the drive-through. So I pushed the van out of the way, got the donuts, got back in there, gave the battery a couple more whacks. The lights came on, so it turned on, and then I drove to the closest Advance Auto where I had purchased the battery, and luckily it was still under warranty, so they replaced it because it was showing that it needed to be replaced. And then it worked fine, and everything's been okay with the van since then. But the moral of the story is, if you have a local Harbor Freight to you or around you, and you're looking to purchase a lathe, I don't know how good this lathe is, but for 150 bucks, I think it is probably good enough to get started on. It's a really big one, 14-inch capacity by 40-inch capacity, plus it has a 7-inch disc sander on the side. So I think it's probably worth it just to get your foot in the door for turning things. Something I really want to do, but I don't really have enough money for a $600 lathe, but I could see myself getting a $150 lathe that was on huge discount. Anyways, check out your Harbor Freight. If they still have any, you might get yourself a really good deal. Well, I think that's about it for everything that's happened in the past week. Thanks again, everybody who has subscribed. I really appreciate you guys. You're totally awesome. I'll see you next week with my next project video, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Bye! That was a lot about VidAngel. I'm probably going to have to cut some of that out.